Hey there, YouTube. This is Raymond, and I wanted to put together a Rapture study, officially delinking the Rapture from the traditional fall Jewish festivals. And of course, you're going to be saying that's easy to do now because it's at the end of October. And I'm recording this on October 30th, 2011. And we've gone through Rosh Hashanah and Atonement and Tabernacles, and there has been no Rapture. Obviously, we're still here. But there are two reasons why I'm putting out this study, and that one is that I've noticed a few comments on YouTube to the fact of, well, maybe it'll be Rosh Hashanah 2012. And I'm thinking, no, there are just too many signs out there that 2011, this year, will be a prophetically very significant year. And I can't get away from it. And that's why I want to put that out there. And also a Jimmy DeYoung video that I saw on YouTube that I wanted to talk about. With all this, I don't have all the answers. I don't have half the answers. I'm a watcher like you guys, and I appreciate correction. Please understand I'm not a strong adherent to anything other than I know that there's a pre-tribulation rapture and it'll be happening very soon. Other than that, if I overstate things, my apologies. I'm asking God to guide me with this, and that I do not overstate things. And please don't hesitate to correct me in your comments or another video. This is a process where we're all together as a community of YouTube watchers, trying to get more information and trying to glean stuff from what God has provided us. So anyway, with that said, I want to show you this is what got me thinking about this. And there are a couple videos from Jimmy DeYoung. He has the ProphecyToday channel on YouTube, and I really recommend you subscribe to him. Before Rosh Hashanah, this one you're looking at now, he put out in mid-October, but before Rosh Hashanah, he stated very clearly in another video, and I'll provide links for all these below here on this video, but he said very clearly that he did not believe that any of the the remaining 3 fall Jewish festivals had anything to do with the Gentiles, that they were all for the Jews. And so therefore we should not be trying to link the rapture to Rosh Hashanah or any other. So, I was like, okay, I was intrigued by that. Dr. DeYoung is a believer in a pre-tribulation rapture. So I'm like, okay, let's hear what he has to say. And so I want to just excerpt a little bit of what I learned from watching his video, and I hope you consider it. When we don't link the rapture with any of the festival, I mean, basically it can happen at any time, and we just gotta be ready for it. Let me show you. First of all, I'm copying graphics from other websites, so I gotta put up the copyright notice there. This is for educational purposes only, and you guys know the drill. For those of you that have not followed the great enthusiasm that a lot of us have had recently about the rapture, well, it goes back to the 7 Jewish festivals that are established in the book of Leviticus, way back when Moses was around, and Jesus fulfilled the first 4, these were all in springtime, spring festivals, during the time of his first coming. And I believe, as many others do, that he will fulfill the last 3 at the time of his second coming. So anyway, Passover, the day of Passover, Jesus was crucified. He was buried on the Festival of Unleavened Bread on that day. On the day of first fruits was the resurrection. And of course, on Pentecost, the Holy Spirit descended upon the disciples that Jesus had promised would happen. And that occurred 50 days later. Notice that all these happen within a 53-4 day period. There's a little bit of debate that I don't want to get into. Was Jesus crucified on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday? There's legitimate debate there. For me, it's not important for the point that I'm trying to make here today. It's just within easily 53-4-5 days, you have all the spring Jewish festivals fulfilled. Okay, well, if you got the fall festivals, these occur within a 21-day window. I mean, from start to end. Tabernacles is a week of each other. You got trumpets, Day of Atonement, tabernacles. So if you think about it, trumpets or Rosh Hashanah would it make sense that the rapture would occur on trumpets and then the Day of Atonement and tabernacles being fulfilled 7 years later at the end of the tribulation? It makes more sense that all 3 of the fall festivals would be fulfilled pretty much in rapid succession at the end of the tribulation. And again, I believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, so does Dr. DeYoung. So he's just saying the festivals are for the Jewish people. It's great if Gentiles learn about the festivals, but it's for the Jewish people. And I'm starting to see where he's coming with that, or where he's going with that point. Anyway, just another graphic. The 4 spring festivals, the 3 fall festivals, and you'll see he puts here Messiah returns to Israel on the Feast of Trumpets. I do believe that the rapture, is not related to these at this point because of where we've been through 2011. Anyway, these are graphics from his video. I'm going to try to go through these quickly. He puts it out there. Feast of Trumpets or Rosh Hashanah, not the rapture of the church, but the return of Jesus Christ at the end of the tribulation. And again, he believes, Dr. DeYoung believes in a pre-tribulation rapture. He's just saying it's not related to the Jewish festivals. And of course, Day of Atonement, he puts Jesus goes into the temple. And then the millennial reign beginning on the Feast of Tabernacles. I thought that was very interesting, and he provides this chart at the end. I'll just leave it there. You can pause on it if you want to look at it. Let me move forward. And I just provide this graphic that shows Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Tabernacles. Tishri 1, Tishri 10, and Tishri 15 through 21, just to show that they're within a 3-week period from start to finish based on this graphic. Anyway, this is why I'm persuaded 2011 is going to be prophetically very significant. I'm just going to try to rapidly rattle these off. And first of all, I think most of us have seen these charts now. You got Luis Vega put together a bunch of graphics that are just phenomenal. And here you have the 3 blood red moons during the course of 2011. You have the exact same thing 2018, 1, 2, 3, complemented by 4 partial eclipses, same thing in 2011. In the middle of this, it is as if God is marking off a distinct 7-year period. In the middle, the tetrad, 4 blood red moons, 2014 and 2015. Now, if this is a 7-year period, it's supposed to be Daniel's final week of years, Daniel 9:27, while the abomination of desolation would occur in the middle, right? So, anyway, evidence pointing to something prophetically significant happening 2011. I threw this in there. Here's another, this is not necessarily anything other than, in June we had a 7779 pattern. I just wanted to mention that the day after President Obama was elected, there was another pattern like this, pretty much indicating this was the Illinois state lottery that had a pick 3 666 and a pick 4 7779. Now, I just mentioned that because it's as if God is mentioning again multiple times, judgment has been decreed upon us. So we again point to how much longer do we have, and I don't see it being that much longer. Another graphic from Luis Vega, 1948, Israel becomes a nation, and of course 70 years is the length of a generation per Psalm 90:10. Well, and he also has a few interesting things here. In the year 70, the Jewish temple was destroyed, the second temple, and then you add 1940, 1,948 years, you get to 2018. 3.5 years before 2018, you have the Tetrad. 3.5 years before the 70 AD destruction of the temple, you had a Halley's Comet come by. Maybe, let's just put it out there. Anyway, here's the stuff that we're looking at. Parable of the fig tree, which is largely understood to be Israel. When it puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. And then, of course, at the end, this generation will by no means pass away until all these things take place, all of them. And of course, that's Matthew 24:32. Well, before that is a bunch of tribulation and end time stuff that Jesus mentions. So He's talking about the end times, the tribulation, all the things that are spoken about for the end times will take place within a generation, the generation that sees Israel become a nation. And that occurred in May of 1948. So this is why us watchers are on high alert right now. You have the rebirth of Israel in May of 1948. And again, I bring Matthew 24:32 here. Add 70 years. 70 years is the length of a biblical generation per Psalm 90:10. In all fairness, it says, or by reason of strength, 80 years is the length of a man's years. However, you look at, again, the tetrad that I just showed you, the graphics I just showed you, something is marking off 2011 to 2018, as God is trying to show us a distinct 7-year period. Anyway, so if you go with 70 years, 1948 plus 70 equals 2018. Subtract 7 years for the length of the tribulation, Daniel 9:27. That gets us to this year, 2011. Also, really quickly, I've heard a lot about this from Perry Stone. He did a manifest episode on this. I will try to find it and link it below. It might be a few days down the road. Anyway, I'm going to show you. Helena Lehman produced this in 2006. It shows a concept. It just Psalm 110 through 118 being symbolic or representative of years 2010 through 2018. I've heard this from multiple sources, and that would mean Psalm 111 is representative of this year. And here's what we're looking at. I'm going to move this up here. The assembly of the upright. And again, the Perry Stone video, I have to refer this to him. He mentions this is highly symbolic of, very, very possible to be symbolic of the rapture and the assembly of the saints in heaven. And then I have to add, well, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's in multiple places in the Bible. But interestingly enough, at the beginning of 111, you have this that may be symbolic of the rapture. And then at the end, you have what I would interpret as, well, is this mentioned because of the beginning of the tribulation period? Kind of interesting. My question, though, with all this is, what is the last trumpet? You got 1 Corinthians 15:51. At the last trumpet. I can't explain this. This is an open-ended question. There are trumpets all over the Bible. I believe at least one of the festivals will continue throughout the millennial reign. And I believe that's the Feast of Tabernacles, but I'm not sure on that. But there will be trumpets going on through the millennial reign of Jesus Christ. So what is the last trumpet? I don't know, and I don't believe at this point we do know. Anyway, also Matthew 24:21, those days will be shortened. This seems unlikely, tribulation period shortened. It's been suggested. There's a lot of evidence, no, because of the timeline, because there's a lot of specific timeline prophecies with the middle of the tribulation toward the end, with respect to Israel. More likely the length of days shortened. I'm throwing it out there because I want this to be kind of like an open debate and discussion between us, as we just learn a little bit more. 2 Peter 3:3, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise. As if Jesus was telling us, yeah, you would think it's at one of these festivals, but it will be delayed. Anticipate a delay. That's how I read this, and that's why I'm thinking, well, okay, maybe it's not related to the Jewish festivals. Now, I just wanted to throw this out here again because I love this verse. I'm just going to let you read it and move on. I'm approaching the 15-minute mark, so let me just get to the end of this here. This is really meant just to be an open-ended discussion. Believe me, I want to humble myself and say I do not have so many answers. A lot of you seem very gifted at interpreting the signs. All I can say is I wanted to throw that out there. I noticed that a lot of people had not been discussing the Jimmy DeYoung video, delinking the Jewish festivals with the rapture. So I want to put that out there. I still believe we're looking at 2011 for something very prophetically significant happening. Okay, guys, God bless you. Talk to you soon.